Now, you might think that a 380 ACP pistol is good for your pocket, but not a rocket launcher nor any other kind of gun that gives you a lot of power. You're right. This brings us to the question why you would want to fear it. The answer is simple, because it might not help you the way you expect. In fact, carrying it might put you at a serious disadvantage that puts you in danger when push comes to shove. So why fear it? Not because it is a serious weapon putting all of your opponents at risk, but because it puts yourself at risk when you carry it. In fact, before we take a look at the example of the LCP II, we have to discuss the handguns in this size overall, as they suffer all from the same flaws. This might be hard to believe as they are very popular. Actually, when it comes to concealed carry, they're the most popular choices. The main reason for that is their size, but it's actually that size and what it necessitates and entails that creates the problem. This starts with the caliber. To make a pistol so small, it comes in a small caliber to have smaller rounds itself, and to get less recoil. While they are smaller and lighter than single-stack pistols in 9mm and snub-nose revolver in 38 Special, they are also weaker when it comes to pure firepower. Ruger tried to remedy the downsides of a 38 pocket pistols with the LCP II, but there are still enough flaws left. That begins in general with a really terrible trigger pull. A good trigger pull allows for good accuracy. A bad trigger pull makes it hard to hit anything. There are a lot of semi-automatic guns with good and with not so good trigger pulls out there. But when it comes to these small pistols, they're just bad in this regard. Instead of short with a crisp break, you get a long and gritty pull that is absolutely not pleasant. There are some larger pistols chambered in 3080 ACP available and do not suffer from this problem, but all the small ones have it. As if the trigger pull is not enough in screwing up your accuracy, they're also really snappy, and that's no coincidence. Mass soaks up recoil. The heavier the gun, the less recoil you have to contend with. When it comes to 380 pocket pistols, they're quite light. There's nothing to help you with the recoil or even this light round, which is not that strong to begin with. You might want to say that these guns are not meant to be range toys, but serious tools for self-defense. Yes, you're right. But if you have a problem to hit something at the range, you'll have much more problems to hit something when your life is actually on the line. With your adrenaline level going through the roof, your dexterity says goodbye, as well as what of course seriously diminishes your shooting skills. This makes it much harder to hit anything that is further than one arm length away. Not only does this increase the risk of an attacker being successful in his undertaking, it also increases the risk of hitting an innocent bystander with all the liability that comes with it. Also, being unpleasant to shoot, you might be tempted to skip training while you need it with these guns, even more than with other weapons. On top of that, you get bad ergonomics, making accuracy even more a thing of impossibility. Due to their size, the grips are small as well. It's extraordinarily challenging to get a good hold of these little guns. The result is that the recoil cannot adequately be controlled. Ruger tried to remedy all of these issues with the LCP II as an improvement over the original LCP, which was introduced in 2008 and became very fast, very popular. However, the LCP still comes with the flaws mentioned here. To make matters worse, the slide of the original version does not even lock back after the last round is fired. While people liked to buy the LCP, they were not so happy with its downsides. Ruger listened to the complaints leading to the introduction of the LCP II. It comes with some important improvements, but it is still that, a pocket pistol. The first and most important improvement is the trigger pull. It's almost as good as that of the larger striker-fired polymer pistols you find on the market. In any case, it's lighter and smoother than ever before. It even comes with a bladed safety that has to be depressed before you can pull the trigger. The trigger pull is no 6 pounds thanks to it being a single-action trigger, while the original LCP comes with a double-action trigger. The handling is slightly improved thanks to serrations forward and rear on the slide. They are also wider to make it easier to get a good grip on them when racking the slide. The trigger guard is bigger than in the original version, so you can pull the trigger even when wearing gloves. The grip itself has also been a little bit enlarged, making it easier to get a good grip. The texture gives you a good purchase even when the gun is wet. With the improved trigger, better grip texture, and better serrations, it's easier to shoot the LCP II well. It stands out of the crowd when it comes to pocket pistols, but it's still small and light. This means it's still pretty snappy. Another overall advantage is that Ruger added a slide stop. When the last round is fired, the slide locks back so that you can easily see that it's empty and insert a new magazine. Racking the slide is no problem anymore, and you can continue to fire. The LCP II has its own magazines, but it also accepts those of the original LCP. This comes with its own downside. With the original mags, the slide does not lock after the last round has been fired. If you want this feature to work, you need to use the magazine made for the LCP II. Another disadvantage that the LCP II shares with the LCP are the sights. They're just black. That makes it difficult to aim the gun against a rather dark background. Ruger designed the LCP II with two applications in mind. First, it's meant for concealed carry, and second, as a backup pistol. In both situations, you'll probably not use it in any range greater than a few yards. Here, the black sights should do the job. To emphasize the intended use, the LCP II is sold with a neoprene pocket holster. It sports the Ruger logo, and it's actually quite good at what it's meant to do. Holding the LCP II, it covers the trigger guard to render the gun inert. At the same time, it comes with a hook and some sticky materials. This allows it to stay in place in your pocket while you draw it, making it easy to get your gun into action once you really need it. As a backup gun, the LCP II does function the same way as the bigger pistols, making it easy to transition to it. Also, it allows to simplify training. The capacity stands at 6+1 round. The weight is just 10.6 ounces and the length is only 5.17 inches. Together with a width of only 0.91 inches, you can see how easy it is to carry it concealed all day and every day. The frame is made of glass-filled nylon, making it very sturdy. The barrel length is just 2.75 inches, but that's to be expected in a gun of that size. The barrel is made of alloy steel with a blued finish, a trigger pull of 6 pounds, and integrated sights. It looks as good as it is functional. Looking closer at it, the LCP II is just another step in the evolution of the .380 pocket pistols, and an important one to be sure. Ruger has shown that the trigger does not have to be bad, and that there are ways to tweak the ergonomics. For sure, other manufacturers will follow, and soon the .380 pocket pistols will be what many think or hope they are today already. Looking at the .380 ACP cartridge, there's also room for improvement. But overall, it's not that weak as it is often made out to be. If you take the time and find the right ammo, it can be a serious self-defense round when you actually need some firepower.